reason or more than one reason. Okay? So I think for a lot of you, you can start after you go back next week to school. You can start doing this kind of practice with your students. Next time in class, you ask more why question. Okay, they say, well, I don't think it's a good idea to Okay, and don't stop there. You ask them to tell you why. Okay, can you tell me why? Can you give me one or two reasons? Okay, explain why you don't think it's a good idea, la 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 la. Okay, so have them do some practice on giving you the justification. Okay, and keep in mind, based on my experience of teaching that course in Heping, I found that sometimes students will give the reasons to support their position, but the reason sometimes cannot support the whole thing. Okay, let me give you an example what I mean by whole thing. We have them talk about this topic, smoking while walking should be banned by the government. Okay, earlier we had this issue that people were kind of discussing, right? Like whether smoking while walking should be banned. So I can talk about this, and then they have to give reasons why they support smoking while walking should be banned, or why they are against this bill. And you see them start giving you the reasons, okay? And then later on, the reasons, for example, the first reason is really about smoking while walking should be banned or should not be banned. And then when they move on to the second or the third reason, they start to kind of veer off the course a little bit. It's not so much about smoking while walking. It's more about smoking. So the while walking part is gone. Okay, so if you're going to have your students, provide reasons to an issue or to a topic similar to this one, you have to make sure that you keep them focused on this whole controversial issue, not just a part of it. Okay, that's something I would like you to keep in mind. For composition, the same. And I think this kind of training will really help your students organize their main points, for some kind of argumentative writing later on. For example, you're going to cover in this third year. It's going to be very, very helpful to them. Okay. If we stop here, okay, if you look at position and justification, okay, then basically these two elements capture this idea that can be described very well by a Chinese saying, 公说公有理，婆说婆有理. Okay, when 公说公有理, basically 公 gives his position, and then 有理, right? So 公 also provides the reasons, justification, right? And then 婆说婆有理, so 婆 in this case gives a different position, right? And then also provides her reasons, right? So if you only cover position and justification, it's not a complete argumentation process. And why? Okay, why in Chinese society or Chinese culture, we always, or most of the time, we just have 公说公有理, 婆说婆有理. And then I think a lot of times Chinese people are very much used to doing only 公说公有理, 婆说婆有理. And for argumentation, English argumentation, the third stage, challenge, refutation, is really probably the most crucial stage of the whole process. Okay, challenge, refutation. Is there any difference between the two? Challenge, refutation? Anyone? Can anyone tell me? Just based on your understanding of the meaning of these two words. How is challenge different from refute? I'm challenging you versus I'm refuting you. Or let me phrase my question a little bit differently. Which one you consider is taking one step further? Refute or challenge? When I say one step further, I mean you are not just only scratching the surface, you actually go deeper.
Refute.
Refute. Okay, refute in Chinese means
辩驳.
驳斥. Challenge means 挑战. Okay, you see the degree, the difference in degree. Challenge means Okay, well, I'm not sure the numbers you cite are correctly. I'm challenging you, I'm questioning you. Okay, well, I'm not sure that professor is really, an expert in that area. Challenge. Okay, I throw some kind of doubts on the things you said. Challenge. Okay, refute is one step further. Refute is saying what? No, that's not right. The number you provide is not right. I know the number. The number should be like this. Okay? Or, that's not really an expert, an authority, in the area that we're discussing. I consider someone else, has more authority over the issue than the person that you just, cited. Okay, so that's refute. Okay, so challenge, just you're questioning, you're having some doubts about what the person said, but refute is to take one step further to prove that you are not right, and I have something to prove that you are not right. Okay, so if we connect this one with debate, then in a formal debate, we have this part we call rebuttal speech. Okay, so for rebuttal speech, what the person or the debaters, what are they trying to do? What they are trying to do is basically to prove their opponents are wrong. Okay, so let's take one step further to refute their arguments. Okay, so challenge, refutation. Basically, this is the part, as I said, captures the most crucial stage of this whole process. Without this stage, then it's not really an argumentation. So if we combine this element, this stage, with what I just said, the saying, 公说公有理，婆说婆有理. When you move down to justification, challenge, then it's what? 公说婆没理，婆说公没理. Okay, so you should keep in mind, when you have your students do argumentation, you can prepare them, step by step, but eventually you have to have them come down to the stage where they're challenging, trying to refute each other's arguments, reasons. Okay? Without that part, it's not a complete argumentation. And you can think about the reason why Chinese people, why we just stop at 公说公有理. Because once we come to this interfacing phase, challenge, refutation, then you're challenging, you're trying to prove the other person is wrong. Then that's really what? Face threatening, right? Oh, I'm not sure, that's accurate. I don't think so. You probably have OS thousands of times, right? On your mind, I don't think so. I don't think that's okay. But you won't say it out loud, okay? Because you are afraid that it may hurt the other person's feelings, damage the relationship, between you and this person. Okay, that's why we kind of, we choose the safer way. So, 你说你的，不说我的. And there's never this 交集. Okay, so you have to force your student to take one step further, okay, to challenge the other person's reasons, okay, to see to what extent it makes sense, to what extent it doesn't make sense. So this is the part I want everyone to write down this word. Justification, refutation is the part we call clash. C-L-A-S-H, clash. This clash is a key to argumentation. Without this clash, it's not really argumentation. So this is the part that you really put your reasons out for testing, right? For people to really, kind of go over it and then examine the validity, okay, the clarity, everything about what you said, okay, to support your position. Okay, so after element or stage 3, then you go down to the last stage. Okay, there are 2 possible elements for you to choose. Okay, when someone challenges my reasons, okay, or even trying to refute, and usually my response will be, I can have 2 options, 2 choices. One is what? Okay, well, I think what you said makes sense, right? Okay, so you're waving that little white flag. I think what I just said, on second thought, I don't think that's a very, very sound reason. Okay, so you concede, you agree. Concede is a big word. Okay, concession is a big word. Basically, this means you agree. Okay, you agree with this other person. Okay, or other times, I'm not sure. Okay, so you're trying